Polly. Looking forward to sharing with you all our data about levelling up support for local businesses. Joined by my colleague, Paul. Paul, how are you today?
Hi, good, thanks.
What we're going to cover today is data and insights from businesses and consumers looking at how they use social media, what it specifically means for shared prosperity fund applications, and how collectively we can help level up digital support for local businesses across the UK. Map on the right represents a heat map of the percentage of businesses that are using social media across the UK. Spoiler alert, it is not as many as you think. How do we know this? Well, Maybe collects the data from 3.9 million businesses every single day. So we pretty much know exactly what's going on. We know what's working well, we know what isn't, we know who's doing what, and we know where they're doing it. And we're going to share that information with you. You can all have access to your data for your shared prosperity fund applications. Paul, you have done a massive piece of research crunching this data, both from the 3.9 million businesses, but also a lot of qualitative survey result with consumers. And we have found a pretty staggering disparity between the way consumers use social media and the way businesses use it. Take it away, please tell me more.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Polly. I mean, the big thing here really is that we found is that nearly 80% of consumers are spending over 7 hours a week on social media. And that's not just a young crowd, it's across all ages, and our research covered all demographics. But the big thing for us is that we found that only 19% of businesses have active social media accounts. And by that, we mean posting one thing a day. And that's really quite a small amount of businesses. Terrifyingly, even more so, is that only 9% of businesses post at the weekend, which is crazy when we think that that's where most people are thinking about shopping or going shopping, and have their spare time to spend on social media. And also on top of this, only 29% of those businesses that use social media, so I think that's already a small number, are actually spending 5 hours a week themselves creating content and posting content to meet their consumer and their audience needs. So the difference between these two is massive, is huge.
So fundamentally, Paul, we're saying that each individual consumer spends more time consuming social media than the average business spends responding or creating it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just one consumer. And you think that each business has got hundreds of different customers. So the difference is enormous.
So why does it matter? I think my big message that I always say is think about a brand like Gymshark, which has gone from a retailer that was nothing to $1 billion retail in less than 10 years, and they've done it through social media. And we're going to bring to light as we go through this why it matters for local economic prosperity. So moving on with the research, Paul, 80% of consumers are spending an hour a day on social media. And as you say, it's not just a younger demographic. That covers the widest spectrum of the UK population. And what are they doing? What are they doing on social media?
Yeah, well, three quarters of the people that we surveyed are using it to find out about products and services. Well, they're using it to search for what to buy, not necessarily going to Google or other search engines to search. And they're sharing their shopping experiences on social media. And you connect all of those things, and the behaviour says that before they go out and buy something, and we've got to remember that this isn't just e-commerce that are driving these, that is being driven by these decisions, but it's any purchase that they're making. So they're using this a great deal to to share with their friends, to consult with their friends and their family, do a bit more research, watch some videos. Meanwhile, only 16% of businesses are spending over £100 a month on social media advertising. So another sort of smack in the face, I suppose, really on this research is that, well, those businesses just, A, they're not using social media, and B, they're not spending any money on promoting their businesses to their consumers where their consumers are. And again, only 27% of those businesses are actually measuring the impact of their social media. So it's almost like businesses don't get the importance of social media, and that's the critical thing we found.
And for me, Paul, this is bigger. This is not about skills. This is about core infrastructure. It's like not having a road to a place. If businesses aren't found in the place where people are looking, people won't turn up.
Absolutely. And here we can see on the left-hand side that consumers are using all platforms still, and people have said, well, Facebook's dead. That's not necessarily true. 80% of people are still using it, still outstrips Instagram. And as we said before, those are the things that they're using them for. And so businesses need to think about where their consumers are and meet them there, and spend and spend time giving those consumers attention in those places.
I think, Paul, what's fascinating here is that 74.6% of people still want to shop are still shopping in store, against 57.8% shopping online. So this great march to social media and digital doesn't mean people are shopping online. It's what drives purchase decisions. So local businesses need to continually engage with their customers digitally to drive footfall and spending in store. And I think this is where it really collides with the whole levelling up, pride of place agenda, ability of local places to be able to deliver campaigns. Because if your businesses fundamentally are mute on social, you are reaching less people and you're inviting less people to your place. The more businesses in your place that can use these channels and reach consumers, the more people that will turn up. The better that content, the better your pride in place and the better the community message is. So this just blows my mind, is that across the 3.9 million businesses that we look at on a daily basis, only 19% are posting daily. Just stop and think about that compared to your own behavior as an individual on social media. 25% of businesses are spending, only 25% of businesses are spending more than 5 hours a week managing their social. That's still less than the average consumer. And only 9% post at the weekend, when consumers are most likely to spend money and are looking to go out and explore things. So tell me more, Paul, about what we've discovered about businesses' use of social media.
Well, I mean, partly, again, those numbers on the left-hand side just reiterate the levels of time, the amounts of time that businesses are spending. But on top of that, we've also found that businesses don't have dedicated resource. They aren't giving one person the responsibility of looking after social media in that business, which I suppose is fairly normal for some small businesses. We were targeting small to medium-sized businesses here, but still they aren't spending money on advertising. And largely we found that this is all of these things we found is because businesses don't understand why they should be doing it. So they're not sure where to start. They think it doesn't work for them, even though they're not necessarily measuring the impact of social. But what they are keen for is support around skills, or support around tools, and the things that those sort of the general support mechanisms that they need to better use social media. Because all of this stuff for us reeks of the fact those businesses just aren't aware enough of the benefits of using it and how they can make the most of it.
So we're very clear, this isn't just a skills agenda. This is about fundamental business support, because it's like businesses not having a cash register if they can't use social media. It's about local infrastructure, and it's about pride of place, and it's about your high streets. Because if these businesses are not reaching consumers, less consumers will be turning up to your place. So, do businesses want training? The answer is yes, Paul, isn't it? You have surveyed businesses up and down the country and got a very big yes, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that 65% are looking for any sort of training around digital, and 58% are looking for support with social media. So they're asking for it. So I think it's interesting that they aren't embracing it because they don't necessarily know what to do, but they recognize that they should be doing more with it. And that's what our research is telling us. So now is the time for us to support those businesses with the right tools, training and packages to up their game, basically.
If anybody wants the research, it's available on maybetech.com/gap. or please do drop a message in the chat. It's being shared in chat right now, but if you're watching this on catch up, drop a message in the blue button to the right, and drop us a message and we'll drop it in there too. So does it work? Absolutely it works. Here are 3 case studies of businesses that have literally changed the way they do business because of social media. Gentleman on the far left runs Ludlow Gin. He can now sell out his whiskey in 3 minutes when it comes out the barrel. Lady in the middle, her most famous moment on social media, having literally thrown me out of her store when we first met her, got to the point where she spent £250 and got £50,000 back within 6 hours. She now is a pop-up in a very well-known department store, and they beg her to turn up because when she turns up, she raises the spend across the whole store. She can do that in a large 3-floor department store. What does she do for the town she's in as well? Lady on the far right didn't even have a smartphone. She bought a smartphone, and she can now deliver a queue outside a store by posting the right pictures on of her pasta on social media. Social media has fundamentally changed these businesses' ability to deliver sales, and that impacts local economic growth. They're not isolated. We have beautiful case studies arriving every single day. Why is this a local authority problem? Well, I believe that if your businesses are not talking, you basically don't have your signposts out and less people turn up. It's about pride of place. It's about your high streets. It's about getting the collective voice of your place bigger. This is a little snapshot of the top 16 across the UK. You can see the percentages of the number of businesses with social media ranges from 24% through to 44%, and businesses active through from 13 to 53. You'll see that the same across the country. If you want the evidence for your Shared Prosperity Fund submissions, please drop us a message in chat or email us at welcome@maybetech.com, and we will be in touch with your stats. Why is this relevant, Shared Prosperity Fund? We're very, very aware that you've all got massively tight deadlines to get your applications in. We're being very blunt about this. We have a proven digital support program. We measure this data up and down the country. We know how big the problem is, and we believe it absolutely aligns with a number of the UK government's levelling up objectives. Specifically, that's difficult to say, Objective 1, 3 and 4, which is about boosting productivity, restoring a sense of community and empowering local leaders in the community. And it's the investment priorities of community in place and supporting local business. We overlap all of those pieces. We tend to be completing EOIs right now around supporting local businesses, but we see a massive overlap between community in place. For anybody on this call that we haven't yet completed an EOI with, please do just let us know. If you send them into welcome@maybetech.com, we will complete them. And here are our recommendations. This is based upon what we're doing in other places already through UKCRF or Welcome Back funding previously, and they're based upon what we've learned. We have made over 100,000 calls. We've sent over 1 million emails. We've trained over 20,000 businesses. We've delivered over 2,000 training sessions, and we're delivering over £1 million in grants and distributing those right now. Now, have we got it right all the time? No, absolutely not. But have we learned? Absolutely, we've learned, and we've now got an enormous tech stack and a massive training program to help solve what we believe is a really serious problem, because businesses that don't learn how to do this are getting more and more disconnected from their customers. So our recommendations are, in order to fix this, and I want to make it really clear that one thing we've learned is that local authorities, it's really hard to do the outreach. We have committed significant funds to working out how you deliver that outreach at scale, and we turn up and we do it all. So we commit to significant multi-channel outreach. We deliver in training in bite-sized chunks because businesses are busy now they're open again, and we make it available on demand, supported by live chat. So whether you want to learn how to create a reel at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the morning, you can do so, and you can do so in 6 minutes, and you can ask for expert help and read an article alongside it. We provide daily training. If people want to turn up and have them hold our hand, we're there. And we provide all the tools that enable businesses to put what they learn into practice. So, you know, that 9% of businesses, only 9% of businesses scheduling at the weekend means they need a scheduler. We give them a scheduler and we show them how to use it. And we show them how to compare their content to another business. We enable businesses to learn best practice because we showcase best practice. We incentivize them to do training by giving them grants, and we're mindful of their time. We make sure we don't take up lots of their time. How do we do this? Well, we've built the tech that enables us to draw a boundary around any area in the UK, either via a local authority boundary or via a list that you upload. So literally, you can literally say, this is the area I want to do this in. We then call we suck out of that area all of the businesses' phone numbers and their addresses, and we send them mailers, we call them, and we offer them incentive to attend training, which is the grant program we run. And then we send regular follow-up emails with localized training in them. It's all about the local case studies that get them to lean in. So we find the businesses that are doing this well locally. We tell their stories. You know, what makes Fred, who runs the baker, lean in and say, I can do this, is because you see how Bert's selling his sausages. It is that simple. You've got to create the fear of missing out, and you've got to get businesses talking about your place. That is what we do, and we do it really well. Can I say that, Paul?
I think we're allowed to.
Okay. And we do it well because we have created a training hub that literally delivers between 5 and 6 minute pieces of content that enable businesses to go away going, I've learned something. Alongside that content, we have a chat function. So whenever they want to watch that content, they can turn up, watch the content and ask questions and get answers. The content is split by case studies, by place, by sector, and then by every channel you could wish to ask for. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Maps, we show them how to make sure they're appearing on Google Maps, create content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we're adding LinkedIn and TikTok later this year as well. So whatever they need to know, the training's there at their fingertips. And we incentivize action. What we find works really well, particularly for those that are a bit more, I've tried Facebook, I've tried it, but it doesn't work, is we provide them with grants that say, if you come and watch X amount of training and do X amount of things, you get access to money. That means you can start using social media ads to make sales. And we show them how to do this. We hold their hand, show them how to create the ads, and we provide all the tools and support they need to make this happen. Because it's not enough just to give them the training, you've got to give them everything so they can embed those new skills in their business and make it part of their everyday work. The thing that is an absolute game changer for us is we've made it possible for them to compare their social media performance with any other business locally or in their sector. And that is what makes it different for businesses. They go, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And it's about making those daily incremental changes. And we do that through that blend of tools and training, and removing the friction to them using social media to deliver sales. And sales is what it's about. Because at the end of the day, what you want to do is invest money to enable businesses to become more successful. What we do is, in this example, this business has spent £159 on a Facebook ad, and she's got £609 back. That means for every pound she spent, she's got £3. She's got £3.82 back. Now, if we can do that at scale for you in your areas, you know what that does for your businesses. And we've got a really good example of what that means. This lady learned how to boost her stories to more businesses. And without going into all the technical stuff she's done and what she's learned, it means that her business earns an extra £1,000 a week. It means that when COVID stopped, she didn't shut her stores, she reopened all 3 of them. That has a massive impact on the local authorities as well. And her content draws people to her physical stores, which has an impact on all the other businesses as well. So you might think social media sounds like something removed from place, but I guarantee you it's what brings people to place. And Paul, I've seen the chat going mad. Should we answer some of our questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got, just going back to a previous piece, can we clarify what local authorities need to do and how much we take on?
You need to say, you need to send us your EOIs and we'll fill them in. You need to set the number of businesses you'd like us to reach. From a cost perspective, our packages start from sort of 500 businesses upwards, and we do everything with that. If you buy a £500 business, what we're committing to saying is we will call and we will get 500 businesses on that training program, and each block of 500 businesses costs, in ballpark terms, 35k per annum. And that means that we will then provide complete transparency with you and show you how many businesses we're signing up, how many emails we're sending, how many videos they're watching, and you'll see the summary data in your dashboard. You can access it any time, and you've got us at the end of a phone line or on our chat to show you exactly what's happening. But yeah, absolutely, we do the work, and we have practiced this and refined it to a point where we're pretty confident we can turn on any program at speed, because I also realized that for the 2022-23 timeline is quite tight. It takes us 2 weeks to set these programs up, and we have the resources at our disposal to scale the delivery really, really quickly.
There's a question here about how the reporting works, but I think you've got it on screen there, Polly, which will just explain what we can see there.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a snapshot of what you can log into, and you can see the number of businesses that we've identified in the boundary area that we've agreed and drawn with you. These boundaries, you can define exactly where they are. You can see the number of sign-ups, and then you can see the amount of communication we send to them. You can see the amount of videos they're watching. So you can really see the impact of the training. And then obviously businesses, you know, I've shared with you some revenue details around a business who's given approval for that. Not all businesses want to do that, but where we have case studies and we regularly ask for feedback, we share all that feedback with you. So you've got fantastic evidence to send back to government.
And I think we just got one more for now, which was, can the local authorities collaborate? I think that there's a couple of local authorities who've been encouraged by government to collaborate more. Can they collaborate within these schemes?
Absolutely. The bigger the scheme that we commit to, the lower the cost per business is. So yeah, if you wish to do a combined area and, you know, make the boundary bigger, that's just from our perspective more data and more area to go at. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, we're happy to do small or large projects. It's all the same process from us. We just put more bums on seats to deliver it. You know, we're a data-driven, process-driven machine that is refining how social media training is delivered to businesses at scale, because I'm pretty passionate about this. I believe if we don't get the independent businesses across the UK to have a voice, it will have a really negative impact on high streets up and down the UK. That's me off my soapbox. Apologies. Paul, any more questions?
I think just to reiterate, somebody asked, who do we send the EOI links to? We put it in the chat, but you might not be able to see it if you're watching it on demand. That is, please send those through to welcome@maybetech.com.
Brilliant. And so, you know, what we will put back in that EOI is a plan that says, here are the tools to provide an opportunity to deliver the training at scale, that's to improve local businesses' digital capability, because improving their digital capability has significant benefit to local economies and local communities. I think it links incredibly closely to Pride of Place. It's very closely linked to the whole levelling up agenda, and it's what makes high streets thrive. You need to tell your stories, and we're here to help. Thank you so much, Paul. You've been amazing. Loved all the questions on chat. I think there've been some other private messages as well. We'll come back to those. But please send your EOIs into welcome@maybetech.com. Any questions, please drop in the chat icon if you're watching this on catch up, or email us directly. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Polly.